Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is SFR for Div 2 for round 17 here at the United States Grand Prix. This track is absolutely amazing to race as well. This track has provided us some fantastic races over the past few years. 5.3 kilometer circuits, and we'll see that 20 drivers in the session all go for gold. And we've got a new guest alongside us tonight, which is Simo, the Div 3 driver. Welcome, Simo. How are you doing, mate? Nice to have you here.
I'm all good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Let me just adjust the volume a bit, which I forgot to do. But yeah, thank you, Simo, for being alongside me tonight. And what's your expectations for Division 2 tonight?
Well, I think it's going to be a close race. Obviously, you got Mansell and Adams fighting. There's 10 points between them in the championship now. But it all depends on what the race brings, to be fair. Everyone's all quite close together. So yeah, it should be a good race.
We've seen multiple safety cars come out in the last race, which helps aid us to victory because we go for that long stint from starting at the back of the field. That incredible battle for the podium too, which we saw at the Spanish Grand Prix. But we're here in USA this time, and Joachim has returned to the pit lane, so we're not going to go for a lap around here, which is a shame. I'm not quite sure if he has got a qualifying ban because he just came out and went back in. So people who have qualifying bans, they have to. Well, they can apply their setups, go off on hour lap, then retire in the pit lane just in case their setup don't work. So part firmware rule applies as soon as you leave the garage, and that's why we've seen some people do their hour laps as well. And Jensen is supporting Zeenam tonight. Zeenam had great pace back at the Spanish Grand Prix, but unfortunately cost himself those results as well with a few spins and being down the order. He had great qualifying, but just can't transfer into a decent race. So on board with Carvin Racing then, he's about to kick off a lap time around here in USA. Cross the line now with the DRS enabled, and we'll see that as we head uphill into turn 1, braking at the black box on the right side. It is uphill, it is off camber of course, which helps you with the rear grip stability. Back on the throttle immediately, all clean there from Carvin as he applies the throttle then going through turn 2. This flat out Magnus and Beckett's X section around here before we lift off slightly towards the right hand there. Downshift to 6th, feathering the throttle there, get the car rotated, bring it over to the left hand side to open up the exit, but he doesn't really utilise the full width of the track there as we go through turn 9. Turn 9 is another place where a lot of people can suffer with track limits as well. We've seen it plenty of times in the past. We saw Sebastian Vettel break his suspension there, braking before the 50-metre ball, hook the inside curb, and now get it on the power. This is a really important corner because if you're attacking, you need the DRS wide open. You need a great exit there to try and line up a move. Same with the person in front of you in defence mode, as they need to get on the throttle immediately and try and defend with the battery. Going down is the heavy braking on a turn 12, hitting the inside. You can cut the order at turn 12 as long as you remain in track limits. We go through turn 13. Now this complex of corners in the final sector is absolutely amazing to watch because we're seeing plenty of people go side by side as he opens up the corner for turn 15 here in third gear. Get the car rotated, use the throttle to help you as well and aid you. Now we're coming into the triple hander. This can be a left front killer in terms of tyres there. It can really overheat your tyres. Now coming into the corner where Roman Grosjean spun and crashed in 2012. Lewis Hamilton became the next victim as we make our way now towards the final corner. We go in second gear, upshifted to third, and this so far seems like a decent lap time there for Carvin as he puts that Sauber up into first place with a 32.5 to kickstart us for this qualified session there, Simo.
Yes, no, that's a rather a good lap. I was just watching the Sonic Hawk there as well. He was keeping it good. He had a purple first sector. However, yeah, no, it's all gonna start piping up hopefully soon, and we'll see some nice fast lap times.
Top G was the one to watch at the Spanish Grand Prix. He had great pace on all the tyres. Zeenam goes towards the top of the time machines like he did in Spain, but those spins have really cost him in the end, didn't it? 3/10 is now the gap between himself and Carvin. The Sonic Hawk was the RP, who another had a decent qualifying session. Both RPs are always up there, but they seem to tend to drop backwards earlier in the race. Saying that though, they were finishing in 4th place was Martin. He had a great pace back at the Spanish Grand Prix, and Burmeister, the one that almost claimed the victory. It was Adams versus Burmeister, wasn't it? But I think the Ferrari's going for a spin there in the first set, so that's a Ferrari. That is Zeenam, but I think he's backing off, or maybe going for the lap time, but the tyres are possibly overheated. Keep us that McLaren into P6, just behind Martin there at 32.9. Mansell goes to the third place with a 33.0 ahead of the top G. He was also up there, but was on the wrong strategy at the time as he got caught up in the safety car. Joachim, it's a shame to see you at the bottom of the order made. But in the race, good luck. And I think it was close between you and Paul last time in Spain, wasn't it, mate? And no, you have good pace, Johan, but in terms of race, you just need to get it hooked up. I'm quite sure if you struggle with the long pace longevity or the balance of the car or just the race pace itself. One shot qualifying, of course, you only have one lap to try and get up there as quick as you can. And of course, qualifying a race can be very different with heavy fuel as well, and tactics involved, the balance of the car during the race because it can change the way you drive as well, and your handling too. So maybe you just need to adjust to that. But Johan, I really do wish you luck, mate. You deserve better than this, and it's been a shame to watch you go down there because I've known you for a long time, and yeah, you had your difficulties in the past. Atlas Copa's a lot to watch you qualifying, but he did go backwards in the race in Spain at 32.2 as Oliver puts himself into P3. Now, Oliver was a Div 1 driver, got demoted to Div 2. He's usually alongside me tonight, but no longer as he puts that Williams into P3. So Williams 3-4 there, Simo.
Yes, yeah, I was just watching Atlas Copo going round. That was a really nice, smooth, clean lap from him. So it is close between Xenon and Atlas Copo. Wow, top four at the moment. You're all looking top four, top five. Everyone's in really close proximity together. So it is, yeah. It's a nice, fast lap time at the moment.
It is. So I'm seeing him there in the Ferrari. His teammate in Mills is down to P13. Not the lap time he wants. He's a full second off the pace. Ginger Tiger is on the medium compound tyres as well. Smoke, I believe, is not here tonight. We've seen plenty of victories. We've seen 3 in a row for Smoke so far, but he's not here tonight. Replaced by Ginger Tiger in P14. And we'll see what the Alpine driver could do because Alpine need these points. The constructors on the rise, as they said, as well. Because Energy Dan has been getting up there too, slowly but surely. Alpine are leading the constructors ahead of McLaren, but McLaren look really strong so far with Keith and Adams, as Adams was the one to win at the Spanish Grand Prix from start to the lower end of the field. Here he is down into turn 1. This is his first flying lap of the day as he gets back in the power, assisted by the overtake as well, which you can use as you can play around with the ERS modes. Now swooping through turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, all flat out corners, hugging the curbs on the inside there, down to 6th gear as we flicking over to the left once again there in 5th before we go towards the right side. You want to take a wide angle through there to try and open up the entry and get a better launch on the exit. Turn 9, looked like he took it cautiously there, cautiously, not much speed carried to the corner, and now we're headed down towards turn 11 before we head on the straight. Really important to get this corner right as well because it's very difficult as well with the heavy traction zone, heavy braking zone, and the tyres will be overheated too, be stuck in the dirt here. DRS enabled on this straight then as we head down using the overtake he has left, going down into turn 12, braking before the 100-metre ball, before we head into turn number 13 here. I think it's turn 11 actually, or turn 12. But you really want to attack that corner so much because it can gain you a lot of time. I don't know if these drivers know this, but you can really cut the corner in turn 12. That's never been exploited within track limits before. Turn 15 is a left-hander from me. Brad Scott says I'm washed poor lap from me, so unlucky Brad there. But you'll get there, mate. You have good pace in Spain, and I know you're difficult. I know you started outside the top 10 in qualifying in Spain as well, but the race pace seems electrifying. As talk about electrifying, Electro Dan just put his sand back in as we make our way now towards final corner. Electro Dan in P6, good job from him so far on his return as Adams, the championship contender, puts himself into P1. The championship is super close. Mansell's leading it by 252 points. Further back is Adams by 10 points, 242. Burmeister P3, he's currently about 15 points away from Mansell. Calvin P4 ahead of Energy Dan 221. 213, Sonic Hawk in P6, and Klusler, who has picked up a podium this season and hasn't got any race wins. He's also close to the championship too. He's been very consistent in terms of getting himself inside the top 10, but also struggled with the Spanish Grand Prix as well. How was Klusler? He did finish 7th on that day, but assisted by the safety car. Mindful Wasp, who goes up into P6, showed potential back at the Spanish Grand Prix, but went backwards, unfortunately. I think it was the Canadian Grand Prix where he showed potential, but the race pace just wasn't there for him on that day. Who's on the lap so far, Simo?
We've got Zenon, who's just coming on. He's just started a lap. We've also got the Williams. Oh, where are they? I've lost them. Williams of Ginger Tiger. He's just started a lap as well. I believe he had a purple first sector. He's on the soft tyres, so he's just coming round now into the S section. No, he's already gone past there, sorry, my bad. He's coming into like the square intersection as such, coming under the bridge as you come up to that fast right hand corner as well. So he is looking to hopefully go faster than what he's already set. at this moment in time as he comes up towards the final corner now. He's staying onto the right hand side, hugging that curb nicely. Coming out to the final corner, DRS, and he goes P17 with a 1:32.7 there, and invalidated this lap.
Yeah, he did. So he validated a turn 20, I believe it was. Just took too much, just went out wide. The wide lines there did Ginger Tiger. That would have put him into P6. As Carvin Racing now goes quickest with a 32.0. So great qualifying for him. I know Salvas have decent qualifying pace. We saw that with, I think, Cassidy back in the Canadian Grand Prix, but he took pole at the very end of qualifying. Burmeister is the one to watch as well. Currently a few hundreds up or a few tenths up in the first set. To Zenum elsewhere is on the track. He goes quickest. It's a 31.7 for Zenum, and he raised the ball once again. Great lap time from him. Martin goes into P3 with a 32.1 there, so great lap time again from the RB driver as we continue with Burmeister headed down into turn 12. We go to heavy braking zone, but it's very easy to lose a lock up a rear tyre as well with the ABS system and the engine braking assisting you, but sometimes you can drift through there too if the ABS is up towards the 52% mark. And Burmeister is a few hundreds down in the middle sector. Can he make it up though? We've got a few twists and turns in the next sector, so he should be able to make it up if he did lose time there previously on his best lap time, but a lot of time to make up with about 7/10 separated him and Burmeister 2, Zenum, sorry, in P1. But Zenum, what a blistering lap time that was from the Ferrari driver. Got some great pace in qualifying, and can he continue for the race? We've been seeing that for the past few times. Here goes Burmeister now. He puts himself into P4, so he does find more time in the last sector there, did Burmeister, so great time from him. But can anybody get in the 31s and challenge the likes of Zenum there? Energy down pushes Alpine into P7. Mindful Wasp has validated his lap time. Sonic Hawk is out there as well, but he goes back in the pit lane, so he must have made a mistake or just finished the lap time there so far.
Atlas Copo, he's just come into P2 there, sorry to interrupt. He came into P2 there with 1:31.9, so he's in with those 31s. So he could possibly get another lap in there and maybe go a couple of attempts quicker, and maybe possibly put it into P1.
We have seen a few 1-2s so far from Atlas Copo and Zenum in the championship, but they both have their own mistakes when it comes to the race. And can they finally rectify it? It seems they need these results to boost their confidence. I know Zenum was a Div 1 driver last season, and he really did struggle as well. Found himself a lap down and way far behind, but his pace has transpired into something different in this game. He's really found his rhythm, really found his form, but still needs to work on the race pace. It comes one step at a time. Really, you can't get it all in one day or in a few weeks. You've got to really build up to it, get the practice in, really focus. And time trial will not help, because I know a few people do practice on time trial, but that's completely different. It's all about the one lap pace in time trial, but when it comes to the race, your tires might drop off, your car might overheat as well. You might have not the same grip level as you had in qualifying as well, so you really need to balance the car and tweak it for perfection during the qualifying session and the race as well. I've had that a few times myself this in the last few games, trying to learn and take the time trial sets up and try and adjust it to better race pace as well, because that's really important. Yes, qualifying's a good place to be, but at the same time you need to have both in order to win both of them as well and try and get the best possible result as you can. Here comes Top G coming towards the penultimate corner now in P15, but I think Brad is on a better lap time in comparison to what he did a few laps ago. Here he is now coming towards the line. It's going to be a 31.9, 1.1 seconds quicker as Electro Dan, the newcomer, well, the new debutant in this one, is on the top of the field. It's a 31.7 and 400 separates him and Zinedine. So Electro Dan, wherever he's been, he's got some pace there, returning to Div 2, and what a storming lap that was from the Haspan there in P1. Electro Dan's really quick as well. I've known him for the past few seasons and in different leagues, but what a lap time that was from Dan, and Joachim is celebrating that one because he's his Haas teammate, of course, and that's what they need. Haas has been struggling recently with MCFC and Joachim too. They tend to drop inside the top 10, both of them, but MCFC does not have the race pace, and Joachim makes a lot of mistakes as well. Sorry to Joachim, you had to hear me say that, but it's the truth sometimes, it's going to be told. But what a lap time that was. Keith is going up to turn 1, but I think maybe he's just completes the lap time and goes P10.
Yeah, I was just watching Adams. He went faster through that second sector, but he had a little bit of a wiggle coming up towards that chicane section as such. So he's abandoned that lap now. He was looking really quick through there, but he just lost the back end a little bit.
Yeah, I deep like a ball with Adams, and when I went to a ball with him, he's a few hundreds up in the middle sector, but decided to back out of it. So made a big mistake there. But is he going for the lap time? He's got the fuel to do so, but he's just trying to recharge the battery at the same time because he used a lot of it in the first few sectors. If you validate the first sector, it's good enough because it's okay because the tires will be hot, your battery will be saved up, and he's going with 87% battery. And with overtake available, you need 100% battery as well because that will really cost you towards the end. It's all about tactical where you use the battery because if you use too much of it in the early stages on a lap, it will bite you towards the end. You won't have the battery later on, and therefore you'll be derating with less power, and the guys around you who've managed to ERS in the right place at the right time will get the power advantage over you and gain more time. So Adams is swooping through now the first sector. Majority of drivers on their outlaps. The critical stage of qualifying now is starting to happen. Adams, unfortunately for him, is a few hundreds down in the first sector. Casti is also on lap time too in the other side, but Mansell goes up into P4. Adams has invalidated at turn 9, unfortunately, so that lap time is ruined, but still, does he have enough fuel in left of the car to go through? He can't pit, of course, but Mansell, what a blistering lap time that was from our championship leader there, Simo.
Yes, I was watching on board. I've seen him again. He had a really fast second sector. Sector number 2 seems to be a popular one for everyone to be improving and getting closer to. And again, yeah, it was a really nice clean lap from where I picked it up from at the top of turn 1 I was watching him from. Yeah, no, really nice clean lap as Oliver is just about to start his flying lap now.
I'm watching Zenon for the time being because he's close up there in P2. So 1 minute left to qualifying. No mistakes can be made now. It's all or nothing for all these drivers who can beat Electro down to first place. Only 400 separated him and Zenon. Zenon is going for a lap time. He's currently a few hundreds down the first sector. Nice rotation in the car from Zenon there. He's really using all the curves, maximising every part of the track time he could get away with too. Flirting with the track limits there as we go down towards to 11. Already 35% battery, so he's used a lot of battery in the early stages, but that cost him towards the end though, as he's able to save some in the breakers. So back on the throttle once again in the very important turn 11 there. We're seeing multiple people take different lines to that corner because sometimes you want to hit the apex, you want to go out a bit wide to get a better launch at the corner and try and stay ahead or overtake your rivals. As we go down towards the heavy breaker zone of turn 12 now, locks up on the entry, cuts the corner completely, which you want to do now on this track, and he's currently 2/10 up. This 2/10 is very important for Cena. Can he keep it hooked up? Will the pressure get to him? Because usually the adrenaline will be going, your heart will be pumping, and you start getting agitated too, with the nerves jangling too, because you know you're on your personal best. You know you can do it, but sometimes the nerves get the better of you and you start making mistakes that you usually won't do because obviously your mind will be focused. And here he is, swinging through turn 20. No problems through there as we go coming towards the final 2 corners now. Can Zenon take that pole? It looks like it's a clean lap so far, and it is! His reward is a 31.3. What a lap time there for Zenon. He's 4/10 quicker than Electro Dan, but Electro Dan's crossed the line already, so he won't improve. Multiple people has crossed the line. Oliver goes up into P6. The Sauber of Calvin is on a lap time. He's a few hundreds up there, so looking to take away P6 or P5, depending how much time he can find in this last sector. Burmeister, yet again, another disappointing qualifying, but we know Burmeister's pace in the race is a much stronger, which is very important for him, but starting P10 would be very difficult because you find yourself in the midfield scrap with the DRS train. Here comes Calvin there, making his way towards the final corner. What's it going to be for him? P3, a lap time to be proud of, and his reward is 3rd place, 2nd row ahead of Alex Copo there. So, Zenon's on pole, but can he finally transfer it into a race win? We've seen that for a long time now. Can he make it happen? As we've got Energy Dan coming towards the final 2 corners, currently sat in P12 with a 32.4 there. So can he improve? Can he get himself inside the top 10, which is his main target as he crosses the line now? Where can the average Alpine go? P11, just on the fringes outside the top 10 there. And I think qualifying is done. It is, Simo.
Yes, it was, I tell you what, near the end, like I was thinking, everyone at the end, they've fine-tuned into the corners, they've fine-tuned the car for how they wanted it to. And, yeah, really good qualifying. It's going to be close.
So there is your classifications then. Haas, 2nd place there, their best result so far this season in qualifying, a much needed result as well. They equal it as Jarholm's qualified in the top 2 as well. Calvin for Kickstarter in P3 ahead of Alex Copo in P4. The GOAT on qualifying is Zenon, but he doesn't want that title, so he needs a good result as the timer has been tipped down then. So good job from Brad G, much better performance than Spain. Oliver on his return to Div 2 in a more comfortable place in P7 ahead, out-qualified his teammate Burmeister, who slips up into P8 there. And MDJ is here in the lobby as well. So welcome MDJ, nice to have you here in the session as well. And he says, my pole time is quicker than my TT time. Yeah, that is the case. It can be very strange with the way TT and qualifying works. I tend to have more grip in the qualifying session because obviously in TT, you don't really have the same amount of grip because the weather settings are different, etc., etc. It can be put into different conditions at the same time, but obviously in TT it's all flat out. Of course, the tires, the temperature, and you don't really use the battery mode either, especially with overtake. So that could explain why your pole time is quicker than your TT time. But he also says his pole time is quicker than my TT time. Oh, sorry about that, MDJ. Yeah. So looks like his pole time is quicker than his TT time, and that could be concerning for MDJ because he's got a race tomorrow around here in USA. But that qualifying session there, Simo, went really quickly. You excited for the race?
Yes, really excited for the race. You've got some good contenders up at the top, and you've also got a couple mixed into the midfield as well. So it all depends on strategy now. Whether we'll have some going long, some going short as well, trying to mix up the strategy because I know the undercut is quite strong here as well. So whether they try and do the undercut during the race, that is another thing.
Well, of course, can be really powerful around here as well, especially with the long twisted turns in the first and final sets, as that's where the grip is needed, especially with an undercut power attempt. We've seen it in F1 as well, where Carlos Sainz got ahead of Max Verstappen, and USA, it was a good race, wasn't it, as the Ferraris were wanting. It was a bit more boring midway. We've seen a few midfield scraps as well, especially with Alonso and Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson has returned to F1 after replacing Daniel Ricciardo last season in RB after a wrist injury. He did a fantastic job to finish in P9. Franco Colapinto is a man who has got formidable talent as well. Colapinto has been really showing what he's made of as well. Joined mid-season, I think it was when was it now he joined? Was it the Monza Grand Prix? It was, but he got knocked out of Q1, but that's fine. A lot of people doubted him in Q1 in Monza, but at the same time as the newcomer, he's adjusted, and he did finish 12th place, but a few seconds behind Albon as well. But Colapinto has really shown what he's capable of, shown what his mettle is, and he's a strong caliber of a driver too, as he finished in P10 as well. So Colapinto is the one to watch out for as well in the future because he's got some formidable talent joining midway through, adjusted to the car. Same with Liam Lawson. So the rookies in the game are started to shine upon in the F1 races, and it was a fantastic race with Norris and Verstappen battling out for the last 10 laps of the Grand Prix, and it was good defence for Max Verstappen. If you're not a Max fan, you've got to admit that it was fantastic defending. Placed his car in the right place at the right time. I loved the racing, but one thing I don't agree with is the rules, because you can't blame him for racing, but the rules can be BS as well, because sometimes penalties are dished out unfairly, but I'm not quite sure what the perspective was coming down into turn 12. Both drivers went off the track. Norris overtook him off the track, but it's all part of racing really, and unfortunately for Norris, he got himself a 5-second penalty. Good weekend for Ferrari, good weekend for Verstappen, because he's not looking for race wins. It's Verstappen if he can't help it. He's looking to try and get as many points off Norris as he can. That's his main target, because the Red Bull is not capable of winning Grand Prix no more, which is a very absurd thing to say after the dominance we've seen so far. But at the same time, Verstappen is looking to get points on Norris, and that's the way he'll win the championship. I still believe Verstappen, even after the summer break. I know Verstappen's going to win the championship. There's no way Norris can win it, because I think Verstappen knows that it's not about winning no more. It's about finishing ahead of Norris, and that's exactly what he needs to do now, is try and get as much points as Norris as he can to stop and win the championship while McLaren have the fastest car there, Simo.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say, like you were saying, Red Bull do not have the capable car for winning races anymore. It's Ferrari have come strong, Mercedes have come strong, and so has McLaren as well. They've all had nice, good upgrades that have benefited them, like we've seen with Ferrari last weekend at Austin. They come flying out of the blocks and got a 1-2. So, yeah, I don't want to sound biased. I don't want to say I don't like Verstappen, but it'd be nice if we had a bit of a difference again. But then again, look at Ferrari. They're, 4 points away in the constructors from taking second from Red Bull, and if Red Bull dropped third in constructors, then yeah, it's not going to look too good for them.
It does not indeed. So there's the tyre strategies on your left hand side. Majority of people go for hards. We've got a few medium runners mixed in there too. Seen them on the hard compound tyres. So Electro Dan should have a better start. The inside line is preferred. Rosberg. We've seen Kimi Raikkonen on Lewis Hamilton in 2018. We've seen plenty of people, even Sebastian Vettel got ahead of Lewis Hamilton in 2017 too. Max Verstappen ahead of Lando Norris. The inside line is the way to go, but let's see then what will happen. Zenom's job is try and get a good start, cut across Electro Dan as much as he can, stopping over at the inside, and we'll see what happens going down to turn one. This track is fantastic for racing. It's one of the best US tracks so far, way better than Miami and Las Vegas. Well, Las Vegas did provide us some good racing, but this track introduces 2012 after Indianapolis was off the calendar at the end of 2007. But here we are then. The lights are about to go underway, and we can get racing here in Texas. The lights are underway, and looks like Yorholm gets a better start on the front row, but Zenum gets a better launch, it seems, with massive wheel spin, so Electro Dan cannot capitalise. There's three abreast going down into turn one. The Sauber of Carver going around the outside of Alas Copo there. We've got more battles going on there, but the Mercedes involved, the Aston Martin, the Williams there, they're scrapping away for their fourth, fifth, and sixth place there. Carvin is ahead of Electro Dan then, so even on the medium compound tyres, he's not able to capitalise, and he's down into third place. That's very bad news there for Electro Dan. Did not get the start he needed, got swamped on Carvin around the outside, and able to take the lead of the Grand Prix. Zenon remains in the lead. 1.2 second gap is already from Zenon then. As he's built that 1 second gap, he's able to pull away in the DRS then. Can he keep it there? Or can Carvin respond? Electro Dan needs to respond. Here comes the Mercedes on Mansell and Lord Top G swapped it out for P5 and P6. Sonic Hawk is ahead of Mindful Warp, is also in the mid compound tyres. So Keith is dropping down the order. Make contact, they're going down there into turn 11. He's joined into 19th place there. And Ginger Tiger, who don't get a best start at all, is in 20th place there. Quite far back, in fact. 5 seconds is the gap from him. So he had a dreadful start. I'm not quite sure what happened to him. He's lost 8 places at the start of the Grand Prix, so must have had contact with somebody there. But looks like relatively clean so far. The Haas in the background goes off the track, and that was Yorholm. Yorholm from 19th has made up a place as well. Lord Top G is right behind. Look at that, gets a better exit. Here we go then, side by side into 16, 17 and 18. But Alas Copo maintains 4th place and has the racing line there, Simo.
Yes, yeah, I was going to say it's very unlucky for Ginger Tiger there. I was watching everyone at front from the start, and you just in the blue dot of the Alpine just stay on the grid. So whether he had an issue with starting, or whether he didn't quite catch the lights at the right time, or whether he did have contact with someone, we're not 100% sure. However, the start from the top guys as well, that was a really good start, as I think Sonic Hawk and Cassidy, they're having a little bit of a battle with themselves as well as they start to go up through the S's.
Yeah, Sonic Hawk wins that battle, puts himself into P10, he overtook Cassidy, and he's on the medium compound tyres, so he needs to go forwards as well to try and capitalise and utilise all that tyre grip in the early stages. But interestingly, Electro Dan did not get the start he wanted. Carvin was able to go around the outside into 1. Energy Dan is ahead of Cassidy too, so Cassidy dropped back more places there, as that's a very odd place to overtake, but Cassidy, I presume, he made a mistake at the corner, hence why Energy Dan is all over the back of him, puts himself into P11. Here comes Mindful Wasp on the inside of turn 11, and he's about to go side by side with Adams at the corner too. Adams, not a good stop. Electro Dan is right behind Carvin. Is this an overtake? It is, with the power of the DRS as we go down towards turn 12. Both are late to the brakes there. Carvin a bit later, trying to stick him on the outside now, gets a much better exit than the Haas driver and stays in P2. But this sequence of corners allows you to keep fighting. But Carvin stays ahead for the time being. Will Electro Dan go down the inside? He can't. And it's important for his race too to try and pull away and gain as many positions as he can, being on the medium compound tyres. So it's not working for the medium runners so far. They're going backwards or staying stationary as Lord Top G is looking to take advantage. Keith has gone for a spin down there in P9 to the full sheet. But Top G, like he was in Spain, is looking really racy. His tyre management was incredible, impeccable at the Spanish Grand Prix. And he's right behind Electro Dan too. So the medium runners are fighting amongst themselves as they need to try and work together, try and beat the Harvarders as we go down towards turn 1. Is there any moves being made? Zenom on the defences there, because Carvin's on the back of him into turn 1. Zenom's defences, great work there from him, as able to stay in P1 for the time being. But we've got a battle for first place now, because Zenom did not capitalise or take an opportunity to try and break away from the 1 second range of DRS.
No, I'm just watching the top 4 and possibly Atlas Copland. They are starting to pull away from the rest of the pack here. However, as Electro Dan's gone a little bit wide there, and Lord Brad G has just made a move into P3 there as they come down into the hard braking of the hairpin there. And we've got Electro Dan possibly starting to try and come back there. Whether he gets DRS or not, I'm not 100% sure. I think he does. Is he going to try and make a move down into the next corner after the back straight? I don't think he does. So top Lord Brad, the top G, stays in P3 there, so that's a good couple of battles just going on around the track now.
And however, Carvin overtook Zenum. So Carvin takes the lead of the Grand Prix. And look at Top G, wanted to make the use of those mini compound tyres. He knows he needs to make the strategy work by going forwards. But at the same time, we've seen a good offset between the hards and the mediums there, because the hard compound tyres, well, it is a better tyre in the first stint, so in the second stint. So Lord Top G will have the hard compound tyres, and it may sound silly, but going from hards to mediums, you think the medium compound tyres will be better towards the end, but the durability on the hards is incredible. They don't die even after a long stint. And him on the hard compound tyres, he could be the one to watch after this Grand Prix. Here he is, Zena once again on the defensive, and Lord Top G has stayed in P3. We saw this with Verstappen there, defending the inside line beautifully, and Alex Copa is under massive pressure there from Mansell, the championship leader, who's got Burmeister and Oliver all at the back of him too. Oliver finally running a decent race in P8. He's back where he feels comfortable with after a difficult start at Dip 1. His best result came in 9th place at the Australian Grand Prix, but after that he just couldn't really perform, and him in Div 2 can really help his confidence down, his pace to show what he can really do. And Lord Top G there being under massive pressure from Electro Dan, so the two medium runners are still scrapping away. They're dropping away from the top two, which is quite interesting. Zenum's still on the back of Carvin Racing, as he's able to get the DRS to the back of him and try and re-overtake with the lead of the Grand Prix. It's a high-speed game of chess in this DRS range, in this DRS battle in the first stint, because usually in the first stint you will settle in and follow the train until we get towards the second stint. Now here comes Mansell, both having DRS on the back of Electro Dan, side by side, and here comes Top G. Will he make a move? He can't. Mansell goes down the inside, further back is Sonic Hawk making a move, outbreaks himself but makes the corner stick, and he's ahead there of Oliver, so great move from him. Also on the mid compound tyres as well, as Oliver is still fighting with Sonic Hawk. They're going side by side in this sequence of corners, which continues promoting great racing. But Lord Top G is alongside, or almost alongside Zenum there, so he's putting him under massive pressure. He's finding more grip on the mid compound tyres. There's a spinner in the background there, that's short, unfortunately. Sonic Hawk did lose the battle in the end because Oliver was able to overtake it, but look at that, Top G's on the back. Zenum's made a massive mistake, and he's both the DRS there. Here comes Top G now up in second place, so Zenum's struggling in the early stages of this Grand Prix, and the Red Bull in the background, that's Alex Copo, who's gone for a moment at the final corner, and here comes Mansell now. Here comes Electro down back into third place, up into third place goes Zenum. Is really struggling in the race there, so he's prioritising qualifying more than the race, because we've seen there's plenty of occasions where in qualifying he is super strong, hence why he's got these big gaps, but unfortunately the setup is not adjusted towards the race as well, hence why he's dropping backwards. These guys have a better race setups, and Zenum is maybe on the back foot with sliding around and tyres overheated as well, and not able to turn the corners as he would have wanted there. So the medium runners now up into P2 and P3, but crucially there, Simo, Carvin has both the DRS. Can he stay out of it?
Well, hopefully he can. He is at 1.5 seconds at the moment, as we've got Mindful Wasp all over the back of Adams now, coming down the back straight. Is he going to try and make a lunge into the hairpin section? Yes, he does. Can he make it stick? He can. So now he's making his way back up behind Cassidy. Hopefully he can... however, we do have Adams starting to come back on Mindful Wasp himself. He's going to make a move on the inside. He's going to try and take Cassidy as well, by the looks of that. Two moves and there's contact. It's not too bad. However, Adams does lose a place to Mindful Wasp, so he has lost that battle, unfortunately. However, he might be able to come back further on in the race.
Up the inside goes Sonic Hawk. Those two continue their battle there on Oliver. Oliver has been maintaining the pressure really well, defending beautifully against Sonic Hawk, who's frustrated, not able to get past there. But whilst we were talking about Adams and Mindful Wasp, we saw that Zenum got swamped by two drivers there. Mansell got through, and also Burmeister too. So Zenum is dropping down in the race pace. Lord Top G is trying to close the gap to under a second there. I think Electro Dan could be working with him. Electro Dan, despite having struggles in this race, is now starting to find some pace. So Burmeister now all at the back of the Mansell. Switching lines, better exit, a classic switcheroo there, but we're going side by side through turn two. Which one of them have to yield? They have to yield one of these two, otherwise contact can be made in these fast speed corners, and Burmeister is the one to take 4 places away from Mansell then. So Mansell there overtook Zenum in the last lap, and now he stays in 5th place. Great pace, like he always does. Unfortunately for qualifying, can't be the same. He started P8, now he's up into P4, so could he be the one challenging Carvin Racing? Carvin Racing will look in his mirror, see where Burmeister is after having great pace. Up the inside, is that Sonic Hawk again? Up the inside? It's not, but he was looking for a move there, trying to put Oliver off, but Oliver will not be phased by that one so far. So Burmeister will be under pressure again, with Mansell behind the DRS. Will Mansell go for an attack, or will he stay behind into P5? We're about to see right now, Mansell pulls out, and he puts himself into P5. P4 ahead of the Williams driver, and now he's trying to take on the medium runners. He knows this race will come to him because the medium runners will start to suffer. The crossover point will start to happen sooner, and therefore he knows the medium runners will be challenged, and we'll see then how that plays into his hands. But he's got Burmeister, the feisty driver, all at the back of him, and Carvin was not able to break the DRS. The gap is 8 tenths, so the 1.7 second advantage he had has been broken now, and the two medium runners in P2 and P3 are right behind him then, and going to point a challenge on him.
Yes, I'm just watching Xenon behind Burmeister now. They're both looking to try and overtake Mansell as they are starting to get hungry. They're just hoping that someone makes a mistake here and they can hopefully take 2 for 1, as Burmeister's going to try and make a move. No, he doesn't. It's going to say if he makes a move up into P1, as Sonic Hawk does get past Oliver there. As Oliver tries to come back on the inside as to come up towards the S's. Someone's got to yield at this point, and it is Sonic Hawk who just stay ahead in that section of corners there. So it is close. It is. Everyone's all starting to battle between each other, and you do get these separate battles, which is looking good.
Yes, it is indeed. And Xenum, who picked up a 3-second time penalty for City Challenges, he did this in the early stages of Spain last week, and now he's done it again. So Xenum is really struggling in good terms of consistency. Something he needs to work on. But I've noticed Top G is all the back of Carvin now. He's broke away Electro Dan in the DRS, so I presume Dan made a big mistake, hence why he's so far back now. And here comes Top G, but Carvin stays ahead for the time being. Burmeister is ahead of Mansell. He puts himself back into 4th place. Those two traded DRS, they're trying to edge themselves closer, as Burmeister has a massive exit, or massive problem at the exit at turn 12 there, massive wheel spin indeed. Ronnie is ahead of Johan, puts himself into P18. Ronnie had a decent result back in the Spanish Grand Prix too, and he's fighting to the back of the field there with Johan, who's trying to come back on the inside, but Ronnie has him covered so far. But Sonic Hawk is now all at the back of Xenom there, so Xenom is going backwards, and a spinner again. That's Keith who's gone for a spin, unfortunately. That's 2 spins for him so far, and his race gone bad to worse. Not his track for the 2-time race winner of this season there, but Lord Top G now is in the DRS. Emils, the second Ferrari, has picked himself up, and Xenom again. That's a 6-second time penalty there for Xenom, so he's really pushing his boundaries within the track limits there. And Lord Top G is right at the back of Calvin, but he will not make a move. He knows there's another chance for DRS on the back straight, which is about under a kilometre long, and he'll make a move down into turn 12 there. So Top G has Calvin where he wants. He's dropped away Electro Dan, and now he can focus on himself, try and put himself into first place. Does he have the life and the medium compound tyres though to pull away? That's the question, because the hards will come to play an effect sooner in the race, and therefore the hard runners will have the advantage and try and take on the medium runners, as Lord Top G's done a fantastic job so far. Started down in 6th place, he's up in 2nd, and looks to take away the lead of this Grand Prix. With 20 laps left to go, there's plenty of racing action going on so far. Who's that in the background? That's Alex Copa versus Martin. Both getting very close out of turn 9 as we go down towards turn 10 we go, but I think Alex Copa, lots of DRS, and here comes Top G. They've leading the race. A simple move with the DRS, he puts himself into first place somehow.
Yes, I was just watching, and as you were saying, he had himself where he wanted to, as we see Energy Dan on Atlas Copo there, and we also have Adams and Clusa overtaking each other. But the top two here, like you said, Top G himself, he had Calvin where he wanted to, but now Calvin could hopefully use those highs to his advantage, as we have another yellow flag in sector 3. I think that is Keith's again, possibly, I'm not too sure. But yeah, Top G's starting to pull away. He's got half a second on Calvin now. Can he try and continue and pull that gap away from him so he doesn't get DRS?
Cassidy lost the place there towards Mouthful Wars, but now Atlas Copa's taking advantage. Energy downwards up the inside of turn 16. He overtook, I think, Sonic Hawk as well. Great move. Burmeister is ahead of Electro Dan as we go to turn 1. Electro Dan dropped into 4th place there on the medium compound tyres. Burmeister said the fast lap of the Grand Prix, but something has happened to Mansell. Had a big moment out of turn 1, lost traction, and now he finds himself under massive pressure from Xenon right behind. Xenon is also lacking pace here, and lacking in terms of getting penalties as well. Is in 6th at the time being, with Oliver closing as well. Martin's dropped further back. The gap is 1.7 now, so there is a break here in the field spread. But Lord Top G looking very comfortable so far. Good pace in the medium, there's a spinner. Xenon spun at turn 9. That's where Sebastian Vettel broke his suspension. action back in 2019, and Zena's gone for a spin again, and here comes Sonic Hawk, here comes Mindful Wasp now taking advantage. We go down towards 11 now. Mindful Wasp getting 2 places there at the expense of Zena spinning, and the expense of Sonic Hawk taking avoiding action there with the covering Ferrari. So it's again the same scenario where both Ferraris are just struggling in terms of race pace there. Calvin's looking for a move on low top G. He knows he's in the best place of tyres because he knows the mini compound tyres will drop away sooner. As look at that, we've got a multi-core battle. Cassidy's lost a lot of places there. Not quite sure what happened to him. Sonic Hawk is in P10 elite. Cena was in P11 now with the Sauber and the McLaren going side by side, but the Sauber gets a bit of a twitch there on the exit, and he's lost the place there towards Klusler, who had a qualifying ban, is now up into P14. He goes there, so Adams there struggling in this race, is still in this midfield. He's gained 2 places so far, but not enough for a championship contender. Trying to take on Mansell in P5 there, so Mansell has the advantage in terms ahead of his championship rival, and Adams needs a good race here around here in Austin. He had a fantastic race back in the Spanish Grand Prix to defend as we go down towards turn 1. Carvin now up into first place. He goes ahead of Lord Top G, and that's the race lead taken away. He's on the hard compound tyres, the most durable tyres there, looking to elongate his first strategy to be on the better medium compound tyres, but we know the hard compound tyres is so durable, so Lord Top G could have the advantage towards the end of the Grand Prix if the mediums do start to fade away. Burmeister has brought himself back in this battle now, and Burmeister is looking for his second win of the season, winning at the Canadian Grand Prix after getting a 10-second time penalty, but it got removed now, and Burmeister is looking really strong in race trim as well, so Burmeister could be another one to challenge for the championship. It's only 15 points away from from Mansell, and if he continues like this, he'll be challenging there for the championship lead, I'm sure of it, such as the fantastic pace there for the Williams there, Samo.
Yes, yeah. I was just watching Mindful Wasp here and Energy Dan having a quick battle here for P8. And I think he's going to try and make the move down into this corner. He doesn't, as he has the RB of Sonic Hawk try and make a move down the outside of him there at the same time. However, it does not work.
Yeah, because he's spun. Sonic Hawk is spun coming out of turn 11.
Yeah.
And that's a shame there for him. Adams is ahead of Atlas Copo, so he puts himself into P11, but the top 3 are now in close contention of a battle. Burmeister has brought himself into play. He could be a real challenger like he always is for the win, and Carvin could be under massive pressure from the Dutchman right behind. Carvin trying to get his first win since a long time ago. He's got his 4th in the championship. He's only got 1 win so far to his name. That came at the British GP when he defended beautifully against Burmeister and Dan at the time. He's only got 1 win so far this season, looking for his second. He's been up there quite a lot, but unfortunately bad luck came his way. Sorry about that. Mansell is right at the back of Electro Dan. We know Electro Dan might be suffering now on the mini compound tyres, exposed and vulnerable, and Mansell knows he's there for the taking. So P4 could be his best bet there for Mansell. Electro Dan is dropping away dramatically, using all the tyre life he had in the first stint, but the Haas is dropping pace there. The Mindful Wasp will take advantage of him very shortly. Oliver is running a decent race in P7 for the time being so far. Great recovery because that's what he needed so far. As here comes Zeno at the inside into turn 11, but want to keep an eye on the top 3 there to see what happens going down into turn 12. They have DRS in the back of Calvin, but Burmeister cannot make a move, and Mansell puts himself into 4th place. Here comes Oliver, taking advantage there from the DRS, and he puts himself into P5 there, capitalised on the DRS. Electro Dan's exposed, and he gets a 3-second time. Oh, that's super harsh. Do you know what? That penalty is super harsh. I went on ball with him. He got a slight squeeze there from Oliver. Oliver did nothing wrong there. It was just a very lovely, like a love tap squeeze. But that penalty is absolutely BS there for Electro Dan. I feel for him. That penalty is not rewarded for him.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's Austin. It is a nasty track for penalties. Track limits here are absolutely horrible. Hence why I think it was 6 seconds yesterday in that race. As we have another yellow flag, sector 3. Who's anyone gone round? I think we've got a Haas in the pits. Yeah, Copo's gone round. So a good spot there. Glad you're looking. You're more experienced than me.
Yeah, don't worry there, Simo. Is it your first time commentating too? Or was it the second time?
I think I used to do it a couple of years ago, but so this is the first time in a good few years since I've commentated, as we now have Oliver all over the back of Mansell. He's sniffing and sniffing. I think there used to be Sonic Horse DNF. Sonic Horse retired. Safety car. Where
is that on the map? I can't see it. Let me turn off the graphics.
Out of turn 1. Out of turn 1.
That's very unusual. That's very strange indeed there. But I think he lit the tyres up and went to the wall. So that's a shame there. As yeah, you were talking about your home. Why, mate? You got a drive-through penalty for speed of the safety car. There's no need. You're under a delta. You're not going to gain or lose anything. But you got
Yeah.
yourself a penalty. That's a very, yeah, very silly penalty. But I feel sorry for Electro Dan. It was going for an undercut, and now the safety cars came out. He's got to adhere to his delta. The guys can go from hards to mediums, and we'll see from what happens there. Lord Top G, this safety car has benefited him a lot. He's going to go on the hard compound tires towards the end, and we'll see. The safety car could place the hands the mediums because the mediums might drop away towards the end, and they might have to survive as well with the hard compound tires being better. So I think the strategy's played really well to Klusler and Top G's hands. Maybe Electro Dan, but he's down there P15. Expect him to lose a lot of places. You just came out of the pit lane, and now the safety car's deployed. But now the safety car's deployed, Simo, I will go to the toilet. I've downed 4 beers, and it's going through me.
Not a problem. So yeah, all the top 3 they have pitted at the moment. Top 5, I think everyone's starting to come in to the pits now. So hopefully, it's be interesting to see what everyone else is on. So yeah, we've got as he pitted just before everyone else has. So he Mr. Mansell, Oliver, Martin, Zenon, Cassidy. Who else do we have? Ronnie, Yaham. Runners, they are going on to the medium, see if they can make it last. Whether they do make them last, it's not too sure. However, we've still got mine. Hopefully they can make them last for a little bit longer and save the mediums for the end, so then they have a lot fresher tyres compared to the rest of the pack. So the front of the grid, they are just starting to come up behind the safety car now as Mindful Wasp does catch it. So they're all going to start bunching up now, and I do believe it might possibly be next lap that the safety car will come in. It's going to be too soon at the moment for the safety car to come in, as we are waiting for Ginger Tiger to come round to join the back of the safety car as well as Keith's. So just going over the grid at the moment. We've got Mindful Wasp in P1, Adams in P2. Adams could hopefully close up on Mansell for the championship standings in this race if he can stay ahead of him. However, obviously Mansell will not want that to happen. Calvin in P3, Top G. Oh, Adams spun! Adams spun underneath the safety car. That was me talking about him in P2.
Whoops!
That was me talking about him in P2 under the safety car. So that's a bit of the commentator's curse there. I'm so sorry, Adams, for that. So that now brings Calvin off into P2, Top G in P3, Bearmeister into P4, Mansell in P5, Oliver in P6, Martin in P7, Electro, Dan in P8, Zenon in P9, Adams in P10, but however he might have to pit due to that spin on the main straight. Cluster in P11, Cassidy in P12, Ronnie in P13, Energy Dan in P14, and Mills in P15, Atlas Copo in P16, Keiths in P17, Johan in P18, and Ginger Tiger in P19, and we have one DNF so far, which is Sonic Hawk. Johan's gone on to the softs. That is interesting. Hopefully Ginger Tiger can catch up. So the safety car can come in this lap, hopefully. However, I don't think that's going to be the case. So Mindful Wasp and Adams on 13 lap old hards. So they are the oldest tyres we do have on the cars at this moment in time. Calvin will be hopefully trying to get those mediums to get to a nice temperature for the safety car restart, so he can hopefully take a jump on Mindful Wasp. Hopefully he doesn't use too much tyre wear when he does that, just so They can build a nice gap, however not too much of a gap, and safety car is coming in this lap, so we will have Mindful Wasps just starting to back everybody up into the pack whilst the safety car does go into the pits. Next question is going to be, when does Mindful Wasp go? As Calvin nearly loses it warming the tyres up, as I don't think he's got the tyres quite warm enough. So, Mindful Wasp coming up into the final corner, safety car is in. When's he going to go? And he's gone. Calvin's got a nice jump there. He's going to try and make a move up into turn 1. He's going to go onto the inside of Mindful Wasp, in which he does, and he makes a move stick. Yes, he does. So Calvin is now into P1, as we do have Adams going down. I think he has gone into the pits there. So Calvin made a move into turn 1, going through into the S's, and is into P1. We also have Mansell coming up onto Burmeister here. He's going to try and make a move around the outside. Can he make that stick? No, he doesn't, so he does stay into P5 at that moment in time. I do think Indigo is back. However, we do have Oliver all over the back of Mansell. He's sniffing, he is sniffing, everyone's sniffing at people at the moment to try and make their fresher tyres last. Hello, Jamie.
Sorry about that, Simo. I thought the safety car would be a lot longer than that. I had a very long, well, you know, but yeah, it was a very long toilet break there, so I've drank a lot. As Oliver goes down the inside of Mansell, now they're going side by side. They're both going to be compound tyres, of course, so equalised in terms of strategy. But Mansell maintains P5 with great defending there. But Oliver come back on the inside into next corner. Yes, he is down the inside, and he managed to keep it steady on the brakes there, because I thought he'd go in the back of Burmeister, his teammates. But a very late lunge, and there's contact between the two, Mansell and Oliver. But Mansell, Oliver, what a fantastic defence there, and throwing it back down the inside. That was very cluey from Oliver, and he's showing us why he deserves to be in Div 2 as well, why he deserves to be up there. Mindful Wasp is still on the hardcore power tyres. We're expected to drop like a stone. Cassidy's dropping backwards there. He's overtaken by Zenum now. As we go towards turn 1 we go. Burmeister pulls out immediately. He knows he can't afford to lose time against people on all the tyres, so we've got to make the move immediately, which he does. Puts himself to P3. Goes a bit deep though. Will Mindful Wasp come back? No, but there's a bit of contact on the exit too for good measure. So Burmeister, the situation is now 1.7 second away from Top G. I think Top G is the man to win this Grand Prix. His hard, he's already sticking on the back of Calvin, despite Calvin having the tyre advantage in this stage. As he can stay there, especially towards the latter stages, he is the man to win this Grand Prix. And Mansell, you're really exploiting your challenges there, mate. You may have picked up a warning for that one. You used all the curbs there at the exit of the first end of the first sector. But here we go, down towards 11 now. Electro Dan looking for a move, bit of contact there for good measure with Martin. Electro Dan also in the hardcore power tyres, expected to be quicker towards the end. The safety car came out a bit too early for those medium runners, or hard runners, sorry. Oliver now is ahead of Mansell. He puts himself into 4th place. Oliver could be on course for podium here. He's got a really strong pace as we go down towards 11. Further backwards, there's contact between the Aston Martin. Electro Dan has picked himself a penalty. He really cut the corner there into turn 11. And now here comes Sonic Hawk. Mindful Wasp is fighting alongside, and he lost the place there towards his teammate. And here comes Dan back on Martin. Into turn 16 we go. On the inside, it takes the place away, but it did pick up a penalty, and that's a consequence for him because he's on the better tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix too. So expected to be up there, but expected to drop backwards due to that 3-second penalty. But Top G's pace is amazing. He's going to definitely win this Grand Prix because he's on the hardcore power tyres, and those mediums will drop off soon. They won't drop off too much, but the hards will definitely be better. Mindful Wasp picks himself up his first penalty of the day then, in P6, and the battle for P3 continues. Both Williams. Can Oliver, on his return to Div 2, get his first podium of the season, his first race back after struggling in Division 1? That's Martin, that's Electro Dan, and Mindful Wasp going side by side into turn 1. Martin's ahead of Casti, and you can really see the ERS difference there, because I think Mindful Wasp turned up his ERS into turn 3, which allowed Martin to be all over the back of him. Adam sets the last level of the Grand Prix, pitted again. So our championship contender is down to P19, got caught up in the midfield Wayham, and this race, unfortunately for our championship contender, is going bad to worse, and Mindful Mansell in P5 will get the points away from him. But Lord Top G is in the DRS to Calvin. Expect him to overtake him now with the power of the DRS. And here he is, then the DRS is enabled. He'll go alongside him and put himself into first place there. Calvin, he best hope his tyres will be good towards the end to continue the scrap going on for P1 there. He needs these tyre lights to be good for him towards the end to have any chance of fighting back the top G there, Simo.
Possibly, if he can get back ahead of him and pull a gap, look after his tyres, look after his ERS, he might be able to do strong defending. As I found it is in the wet yesterday when it was wet, it was nice and easy to try and defend round here. However, obviously we've got DRS because it is dry. He might find that hard to defend. So yeah, Adams is at the back of the grid because he spun under the safety car onto the pitch straight. However, we do have Cluser just coming to have a look on the back of the Ferrari or Xenon, as we do have Mindful Wasp into the pits there.
Yeah, Mindful Wasp, I think he's picked up woman damage, and unfortunately, it's his first stop, 70 lap hold hard, he's got on the soft compound tyres now. Let's see how many positions he can make towards the end on them soft compound tyres, but I highly doubt it much, considering there's 10 laps left to go. He's rejoined at the back of the field, and not many laps to try and overtake either, so where's his best bet, I wonder? The rest of them coming towards the end of the first sector, he's headed down turn 1, and that safety car has not played into his hands at all. He should have pitted with the rest of them, but he thought that he wanted to go hard to softs. That's why he extended his stint on the hards. Calvin is staying in the clutches of Lord Top G, so that's very important for him. He needs to make sure he overtakes him all the time, because let's say that's a Top G. Oh, there he is then. He goes for the lead of the Grand Prix, he puts himself back into first place. But I dare say in the latter stages, he needs to constantly fight Top G. Try and overtake him every opportunity he can, because the mini compound tyres will be worse than the hards. The more durable hard compound tyres will be better. And also, what about third, fourth and fifth? Can they get in the DRS of the top two? That'll be a very interesting battle going on between the top five here, with Electro down who's 6th place, 2.2 seconds further back. Manso is all at the back of Oliver, but does not make a move so far. This is really crucial for this race, for top 4 Calvin Racing, because he knows Top G's tyres will be better, so try and attack him at every single point. Do not let him break out the 1 second range of DRS, because once he does that, that's over for him. He will not have the tyre life or the grip left in the end of this race to try and get that gap under a second then. So we head on to lap 19. There is about 9 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Everything to play for. Calvin there under pressure as we go down towards turn 1, but maintains the lead of the Grand Prix as Manso is fighting with both Williams. Both Williams could really play into hands here because they've got the 2, 3rd and 4th. Oliver could be a good protector, a good rear gunner for his teammate Burmeister to keep on the podium. Or is it all for the Williams driver, because it's their first time pairing with each other, so they might not be in a part with each other, trying to go for their own race, trying to run their own race and get the podium. Of course, the fighters, Oliver has nothing to lose, he wants everything to gain so far, and the guys who have put that DRS now has been under a second there. Burmeister is in DRS range of Lord Top G. Lord Top G has been really held up here by Calvin, because you can see Calvin struggling here, and he's all over the back of him going into turn 11, so I expect the DRS to be wide open there for Top G. With the DRS, get alongside him and overtake him, but further down, that's Emil's gone for a spin, so both dreadful races there for Ferrari.
Yes, I was going to say, well, to see the Ferrari spin himself round, I wonder whether Calvin's tyres are already starting to drop off, as they are 6 laps old, whether he pushed them a little bit too much under the safety car to try and get warm, or whether he pushed them a little bit too much. However, if he can stay within that DRS, he can try and keep fighting Top G, but he's got to be aware that you've got Burmeister, Oliver and Mansell's now coming into this fight now for the podium. You've got to be aware of those other medium runners behind him, and it all comes down to track limits as well. If anyone gets a penalty at this point, then that could be it for him.
It is indeed, as we saw in the Spanish Grand Prix, people picking up penalties, and it really cost him not just this race but other races too, where they pick up penalties, and it can make or break your race. It depends, others around you pick up penalties as well. This track is very easy to pick up penalties. Exit at turn 9, going down towards turn 20 as well, a fast left-hander, and also the first sector, let's not forget to mention. And I think about Haas has come for a spin again at Shoreham. Unfortunately, his race is going bad to worse after getting that qualifying ban and not having a race pace to go with it either. So yeah, it's a one to forget for Shoreham once again, and once he sorts out his race pace, he'll be a formidable force in this field there. He'll be fighting up there, because I know him in the past, he's very, very quick. I've seen it plenty of times, and he's just adjusted to this game. Calvin goes a bit deep out of turn 11, so that allows Burmeister to be all over the back of him. They have DRS there on the back of Top G. The gap is over a second there, but the texture point, they were under a second. Here comes Burmeister, both having DRS. Burmeister is switching lines there, going around the outside now. No, he stays behind for the time being there. So Calvin uses his DRS in defense mode, and he stays in P2 for the time being. But thanks to that DRS, he brought it back under a second there, as looking for him, it was under a second at section point. Otherwise, Top G would have pulled away and gained a lot of time in those hardcore power tyres too. So this is a very interesting scrap going on here between the top 5. Who will win this Grand Prix? Who will get third spot? Is between both Williams, the Aston Martin, and Mansell, our championship leader, Calvin, and Top G. With 8 laps left to go, this race has absolutely flown by, and I cannot wait to the latter stages. It's going to get very interesting indeed. But the gap is 8 tenths there, so Calvin is struggling to stay in DRS range, which will allow Top G to pull away even more. Maybe his tyres are starting to reach the end already, or start to just wear off too much than he expected. Martin is ahead of Casti in a very odd place in the final corner. I suspected that Casti made a mistake at turn 20, and that's which allowed Martin through. But yeah, Top G's pace is looking fantastic so far. He's on the better tyres towards the end, and he should be able to break away from the rest of that train and pull away and try and win this Grand Prix for the first time. His second appearance here in Div 2 this season. He made an appearance at the Spanish Grand Prix, but qualified lower down. His strategy for the safety car did not work in his favours, although he had great pace on much older tyres. But so far, things are going his way, Simo.
Yes, so far I think he's pretty much hitting the nail on the head for the strategy here today. Going from the mediums, going to the hards underneath the safety car, which gives him pretty much a free stop. As now we have Burmeister coming up onto the inside of Calvin. However, Oliver's got the slipstream and DRS as well. So is Oliver going to try and make move on both of them? He gets past Calvin into P3 and he nearly goes into the back of Burmeister there. So Oliver and Burmeister now on 2 and 3 on the podium, as I believe Casti has got past Martin as well.
Could be a double Williams podium for the first time this season. Oliver, after struggling in Div 1, being brought into Div 2, this is his most comfortable he's ever been so far in a race. His highest finish I've seen so far this season is P9 at the Australian Grand Prix. But on his return to Div 2 and here in USA, he'll score a lovely podium for him. Both Williams will be very happy with that one. It depends though, does Burmeister have the pace to catch Lord Top G on the medium compound tyres? He's got good pace in general, but it depends on the tyres though, because Top G's tyres will be getting better, whereas the medium runners will get hard though. So let's have a look, get better. The hard runners will get better, sorry. So let's have a look in comparison to what his pace is. The gap is 1.7. Can he get that gap down to under a second and continue that fight? Or will Top G's tyres be at an absolute peak right now and able to pull away and therefore cruise towards the end of the 6th lap Grand Prix? But Oliver and Burmeister closing the gap down. The gap is already 1.4. He gained 4 tenths in the first sector, so the more he continues like this, the more pressure Top G will feel. So it might not be over yet for Top G. He's got Burmeister and Oliver to deal with in the Williams pair. Great drive, by the way, from Williams, especially after the last Grand Prix in the Spanish Grand Prix. After, well, that's the wrong division, sorry. I was talking about Firecracker, and I think it was Nico at the time. But Williams are currently down in P7 in the championship. This is a haul of points. The fighting RB and Red Bull in the championship with Ferrari too. And if they score points like this will be absolutely incredible as well, because I know Burmeister is the one to bring points home. His teammate, unfortunately, hasn't been there to support him like UK Tosh and whoever else has been in Williams at that time. But Burmeister's been scoring all the points so far, and with Oliver there, more points will be rewarded. And if he continues like this towards the end of the season, I see Williams been in a really good place as well, fighting along with the Saubers, the McLarens and the Aston Martins too. So let's see there. Now Williams got a good strong driver lineup like in real life with Franco Colapinto and Alex Albon, but Colapinto's the one bringing points home. Klusler has made a big mistake. He's allowed Casti through and seen him too almost to the back of him. I wonder if he's made too much contact there, as and he's down to take advantage. Alex Cooper's going to go around the outside into turn 15-16 now, but not able to do so, and he stays behind. Although Energy Dan does go off the track there and might have picked himself up a warning for that one too. So watch out for Chalmers. But the gap is 1.3. Can Burmeister bring this gap down, Simo?
I think it can. If Burmeister and Oliver work together and use the DRS and slingshot each other down the back straights, and as he has a little bit of a moment there, Burmeister, so that has made him lose a little bit of time there. As Mindful Wasp does get a 3-second time penalty there. I think they can. It's hovering at around 1.6. However, their medium tyres might just start to be going off at this point, and they are going to start struggling with 6 laps. 6, 7, I don't know. Whatever laps left to go at the Grand Prix, I can't do maths at the moment. So yeah, they might be able to. However, the gap is just starting to. It's hovering. It's hovering at 1.5 to 1.6 seconds. So yeah.
the gap is stabilising now between first and second there, so I think Lord Top G does have the pace to try and keep ahead of Burmeister. But in this critical time, in this stint, it's really important for Burmeister to try and close that gap down before the tyres start to get too old and degrade. Further in the background, Alex Copo is overtaking Energy Dan to go side by side at turn 11 now. These two squabbling in for the past few laps, and let's see which one of them wins out this battle, as Alex Copo trying to go around the outside. Has the inside line for turn 16, but Energy Dan is still around the outside there. Not aggressive there from Alex Copo to go late to the brakes, so Energy Dan has the outside line and stays ahead. Great defences there and great driving overall, but the yellow flag was caused by the Haas man in P19. His race going bad for the worse. Only one retirement so far, which is Sonic Hawk, the man that caused safety car, and there's a big smile on the face there for Brad at the Top G, who said himself his qualifying wasn't great. He did get P8 in the end, but now he's doing the Grand Prix, so that proves to you how much the race is more important than qualifying, even though qualifying, the higher you start, the better chance you have, and may not necessarily, as Cassidy goes off the track, almost lost the car on the exit, which will allow the RB to go through, which is Martin, and Klusler's going side by side. Remember, Klusler had a qualifying ban, and he's looking to take advantage of the Sauber, but he's just too far behind to do so. The other Sauber, he's trying to fight for a podium. He was in second place or first in the last few laps, but now he's outside the podium. There's no chance for him to get back on it, but I think both Williams will work together. I don't think those two will fight too hard, knowing they're both on the podium, and they're thinking that there's not much of a chance to try and catch Top G. So I think the best chance for those two is now just work together, try and trade DRS, keep Mansell and Carver behind, and make sure we both get a podium here, because this is big points. So I think both Williams, they're working together, try and keep the rest behind, because they know first place might be a bit of a stretch with the tyre advantage he has, Top G. So he's out of reach, but the rest behind are still looking for a podium here. Casting up the inside of Martin, he puts himself back into P7 there. Great scrap going off for P7 downwards, although Cassidy does have a penalty himself. And Klusler from the back of the field, and Zenum, who spun in the early races, are trying to reclaim something. Oh, he spun again! Oh, Zenum. He spun once again. Second time in this race. One at turn 9 and one at the exit of turn 14, unfortunately. That's a really easy place to spin, because you turn in and accelerate at the same time. Your arms are tight in the pit lane, so we won't see much of him no more. There is 3 laps left to go, Simo. Do you think both Williams are working together to try and keep Calvin and Mansell at bay?
I think they are. They're slowly starting to pull a gap towards Calvin. Away from Calvin. However, Mansell is still trying to keep on to the back of Calvin and trying his best to catch back up with them. However, I do think the Williams are going to be working together to try and keep this gap big enough from Calvin so they can have 2 and 3 on the podium itself.
Be Williams' best result of the season, second and third, both on the podium together. Although Burmeister did win the Canadian Grand Prix for his first win of the season, Alex Copa now is ahead of Energy Dan. He puts himself into 10th place, but Energy Dan does have the DRS at the back of him. When he come back and go down to turn 12, he's all at the back of him right now, but it's getting close between Oliver and Burmeister. Oliver's just playing the team game and just sticking behind Burmeister, because he knows Carver's on the charge. He knows there's a podium for both of them to be on. So I think that he's just playing the team game, and when Carver pressurises him, Oliver might be forced into overtake his teammate or Burmeister. Then the next lap, Burmeister will get DRS as well. So Williams can trade places if it gets to that point, as if Carver will try and pressurise them all the way to the line. They're trying to get back on the podium, but with 2 teammates in front of you, it's going to be very difficult. The task, you've got to try and split them up anyhow. You got to try and force one to overtake the other and try and get ahead of yourself, whilst the other one doesn't have the DRS there. I've seen it plenty of times myself. I've been involved in situations where 2 teammates ahead of me are playing together, playing the teamwork, so you got to try and force them into uncomfortable territory by making them overtake each other and try and get ahead of the other one who's leading the pack in P2 there.
Yes, definitely. Calvin is closing. He's making sure that gap is staying with them. He is getting close towards them as they come down that back straight. As we do see towards the back of the field, we've got Ginger Tiger and Adams. They are fighting each other. I don't know who's going to come out on top on this one. However, Calvin is keeping that gap at 0.3 of a second to Oliver, so he might be able to get him down this back straight with DRS.
Let's have a look then. Can Carvin try to mount an attack on Oliver going down into turn 12 after leading the Grand Prix, taking pole as well, but unfortunately not going the way he wants at all. Is Carvin racing there? Got both Williams in P2 and P3, but there's no way to overtake them both. But does he have the better grip out of the corners? Can he find a way past Oliver's? Try and split them both up and try and take P2 away, which has been majority of the time in this Grand Prix as well. Can he try and slip one on the inside into turn 16? No, is the answer. There is 3 laps left to go. Where is Carvin going to plan this? How is he going to overtake? Can he split both Williams up and try and reclaim his P2? Ever since both Williams caught up, they've had great pace so far, but it's not over yet. The battle for P2 between Burmeister, Oliver, Carvin and Mansell. Mansell is being last in this DRS train. It's not helping whatsoever because the guys ahead carrying the same speed on the straight, so there's no way for him, unless of course those two make mistakes. Talk about mistakes, I think Burmeister made one out of the final corner there, but won't be under pressure from his teammates as those two, for the first time ever this season, together, and for the first time in this race working together. This is going to be a great result for Williams, a much needed result too for the team back at Silverstone. But here we go, let's sweep into the first sector, which can be really difficult to try and stay in turbulent air. We saw Lando Norris trying to overtake Verstappen, but it wasn't close enough until about lap 54 there when he tried to go for an overtake. He got within 0.3 of a second on Max Verstappen and was able to overtake him, but went off the track to do so and got himself a 5-second penalty here as we now flick our way down towards turn 11 we go. Heavy breakers don't come up, a lock up on the edge there for Burmeister. Is Carvin close to trying to overtake Oliver? But the problem is Oliver will have the DRS though, and if Carvin does force Oliver to overtake, he's still got Burmeister trying to contend with as well. So that's how the team game is played around here, because second and third will leapfrog each other. If Carvin forces one of them to overtake each other, then the next have DRS the back of each other, and it's just up the inside into turn 12 now. Carvin's trying to make a lunge. He used a lot of battery on that straight there, hence why he's so low. He's looking for a switch back, but Oliver places the car in the right places. A block defence there from Oliver. He does not let the Sabbath through. This is great defence in there from Oliver, like we saw Max Verstappen a few days ago against Lando Norris. Martin and Energy down at swap of places, but Oliver's doing a fantastic job so far after his struggles in Div 1, and Martin and Energy Dan. And here comes Ronnie now taking advantage, although he does spin himself as he tries to get the power as he rejoins down in P13. So it's a shame there because he's trying to take on Martin, but picks up the throttle way too early. But look at this, Mansell. You can see, look at this. Simo, your boyfriend is all at the back of Calvin.
I was going to say, yeah, after all of this fighting that Calvin's been doing with Oliver, Mansell's brought himself into this game as he tries to go up on the inside into turn 1, in which he does. Can he make it stick? I think he can, and yeah, he's up into P4. Next target is that Williams of Oliver. Can he catch him up within the it's the last lap already? I don't believe that. Yeah, can he catch him up and overtake onto the final lap? That is the next question.
Simo, I'm a bit confused here. It's already last. How on earth is it the last lap? I remember saying lap 12 of the Grand Prix. Qualifying's gone quick, the race has gone quick. Oh, it makes me sad though, because I just want more racing action. It's just these laps go so quick. I don't know how. It feels like I've been barely here for 30 minutes, and yeah, we're on the last lap of the Grand Prix. It's like I just gone to sleep and woke up on the last lap. That's how it feels like. I don't understand how it just goes so quick, but I don't think there's any moves being made on this straight here. So both Williams remain in formation so far. It is the last lap, and the attention is going towards the man in the Mercedes who showed some promising pace on the old medium compound tyres. His tyres should have been worn off, but somehow he kept them alive. He kept on pressurising the hard runners in Spain, and here, who restarted on the medium compound tyres, looked like the safety car went his way, and it absolutely has, with the hard compound tyres being a better tyre towards the end. The man who's his second race this season in Division 2 looks like a real contender for winning, and here he is towards the final corner. He goes. Top G, after a difficult race in Spain, can announce himself as the winner here in USA. Fantastic race from Top G, the correct strategy, got himself into second when he needed to, overtook Calvin Racing, left him behind, and he wins the USA Grand Prix by 1.8 seconds. It's a double Williams podium, second and third, and what a fantastic race that was. Electro Dan finished in P5, just considering his penalty and also his pace as well not being very strong, especially in the first stint on the mediums, but the race has been concluded. And Simo, I politely ask if you could try and invite those three, Lord Brother Top Shoe.
Absolutely.
I need the toilet again.
And just to point out, Calvin DNF'd as well.
No, we didn't.
He didn't. It's coming up on the screen that he DNF. Never mind, ignore me. So let's get these guys brought into the party. So we have invited the top 3 on the trophy. Moving on to the final standings then. Obviously, P1, top G there with the win and making himself finally to get that win. Burmeister in second, Oliver on his return to Div 2 on the podium in P3, Mansell in P4, Electro Dan in P5, Clutine, Mills in P14, Mindful Wasp in P15, Xenon in P16, Calvin Racing in P17, Ginger Tiger into P18. Moving on to the DNS, which is unfortunately Yaham and Sonic Hawk there for the DNFs of the race itself. So, what a race! As I do believe we do have some people into the party now. Just going to wait for Indigo and Jamie to come back, as we do only have one person in the party. Oh no! Oliver Smith in the what's it called? YouTube. Williams roadblock. It was well and truly the Williams roadblock in this race around Texas. I do believe we have Jamie back.
You do, Simo. And Simo, considering it's our first time ever working together, and considering it was your first time rejoining, commentating for the first time in a few years, I got to say, this was absolutely amazing. I think we worked well together. We communicated with each other, worked harmony into, and this was one of a good commentary session, better than last week. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I really enjoyed it our first time commentating together because managed to work well together and feed each other off each other's energy as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Simo, for being alongside me. Your insights have been wonderful. Your call-outs, your battle, describing battles, and the tie strategy as well have been amazing. So thank you so much, Simo. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a nice race and a nice introduction back into commentary. Whether it is something I do look back into doing, I might be back next week.
And my ex, Oliver, has joined the party as well. So here we go then. We'll speak to our podium interview. So Oliver, well, mate, we are talking together again, but not in the circumstances that I'd hoped for, because I do miss you on comms, buddy, but it's all down to you because I know you've been struggling in Div 1, so you got demoted into Div 2. But I see this as an absolute W tonight because, yeah, Div 1, Oliver, don't be disheartened, but you may say it's a downgrade, but Div 1 has got some really competitive drivers with high esports professionals that has got setups and practicing all the time. Oliver, it's a stepping stone, mate, because you take one race at a time, you learn a lot of things, you get used to the game as well. Your qualifying wasn't really that great, but you came back up there to finish in P3. And talk us through the end, mate. How do you feel about that race? And I want to say, nice to see you again, not in the circumstances I hope for.
I would say the least. It's just been, let's just say it's been a tough couple of weeks, to say the least. After, in my personal life, I've got a lot of things going on, so I didn't have that much time to practice anyway. But glad to be back in Division 2. And Bergmeister, I heard what happened with him, heard on stream about Bergmeister pretty much carrying the Williams team. So I got demoted down to Division 2, and once I got announced to Williams, I think Bergmeister be very happy, to say the least. I held up both Calvin and Mansell for the final part of the race. And I'm very happy that I helped up Bergmeister today in terms of the championship. We're both definitely on a similar pace. In terms of the race itself, it was mostly clean racing, of course, and I was mostly following behind Bergmeister the entire time. Never thought about overtaking him, so I just thought, would be the best chance of it not ruining his championship. So it would have been best for me to stay behind Bergmeister, and it worked. It worked behind Mansell. It worked behind Calvin. Yeah, it went extremely well to plan. I'm really happy with the results today. Onwards to the final remaining part of the season and continue the same strategy with myself and Bergmeister in the Williams team.
I was going to say, during that second stint when you overtook Calvin for P3 and it was coming back at you with Mansell, were you just staying behind Burmeister because you're right, we're both on the podium together, let's not fight each other, let's just try and keep Calvin and Mansell at bay? Was that the thing you were planning the whole time, just try and both get on the podium together because you know that Burmeister's a championship fight, and you come in as a newcomer in Division 1, the first race, you know you can't get involved in your teammate's own championship fight?
Exactly, yeah. Since I came in so late into the season, I rather help out Burmeister all the best I can. And we never communicated in that race. We never did. I did ask him before the race. I asked him, "Do you want to chat?" He said no. He wanted to focus, and that's fair enough. If he's entitled to do that, that's fine. And now. I just knew in my mind it'd be the best thing for me to do the Sergio Perez and literally called off two very fast competitive championship contenders. And I feel like that is like I said before, the remaining strategy going into the final stage of the season. And I'm looking really forward to the final few races to come now in the Williams team.
There is 7 races left to go, and you helped your teammate get more points on Mansell as well, so that's very good for you. After being dropped in Division 2 and you lacking pace, how was your confidence going with this qualifying and the race as well? Was you expecting, I'm going to be at the back because of my performance of Div 1? Or did you think, this Division 2, let's see what I can do here tonight?
I don't know, because it's one of those, when I was in Division 1, I just always remained at the back. I only got 2 top 10s when the other drivers in Division 1 made a load of mistakes. I don't, like I said before, I literally don't practice as much because I got a lot of things going on. I don't be on the game as much because I don't really fancy the game as much because the DRS and ERS training. I see so many, feedback on this game, and it's been super negative. I mean, if it had the F1 23 physics, I will probably play that even more than this trashy game. But with my pace, I don't know. I'm very 50-50. It's like I am fast, but it's like I'm not fast enough to catch the division, to stay on pace of Division 1 guys. And when I'm in Division 2, it's like, oh Christ, I'm like too fast. So I'm like, we'll just say, I don't know, a Division 1.5, if you want to call it that way. I'm like very 50-50 in my general pace.
And nice to see you back in P3 as well, mate. You did a fantastic job defending from both Calvin and Mansell towards the end. Overtaking them as well, which is very important for your race. Try and stay ahead of them, using the DRS on the back of Burmeister too. So great points for Williams today. And for the next 7 races, I hope you continue, because you and Burmeister look really strong so far, especially Burmeister Championship. Williams need a second driver to be up there as well to compete with the constructors. And what moment did you think you could get a podium here? Were you a bit nervous when being on the podium, because it's been a long time since you've been in that situation? So what was going through your mind there?
It was I was actually feeling quite nervous going to this race. When I was like P8 or P7 after qualifying, I was like, okay, let's just get on with the race and see how it happens. And the strategy worked out very well in both of our favors. What else helped us well was Mindful Wasp as well, being on the run strategy. I understand about giving Mansell an advantage, but he sort of didn't help himself. But it's helped out myself and Burmeister, which is fantastic. And the move I pulled on Mansell, the dive, literally saw an opportunity, I took it. And I feel like my racing today was super clean as well, as clean as when I might defending in Sonic Orca the early part of the race. And with Mansell as well, I thought I was super clean in my defense. So yeah, I'm really, really happy. Really, really happy to be in Division 2, and I think that gives me so much more confidence going forward.
Yeah, it does, mate. And I saw that dive bomb, or that lovely move, it must be said, clean and controlled, and kept it in the white lines as well without forcing him off the track. So that was a lovely dive bomb down the inside too. So it's nice to see back on the podium, mate, in P3. I'm glad it's good. I'm glad it's boost your confidence too, because that's what you needed. But Simo, you got a question?
Hello.
Who are you?
Hello, it's me. It's Mansell. Hello.
Why are you here?
Hello. Just quickly, Oliver. Fair enough, mate. Burmeister, you have a teammate in your hand.
What are you doing? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What are you doing?
He's on Simmer's mic. He's on Simmer's mic.
I'm just saying, Oliver, fair play for that defence, mate, because I couldn't not get past that DRS train. Like I said, it's so difficult to get past. And Burmeister, you got one hell of a teammate right there.
I'm sure of that, mate. He's a fucking legend.
I can't wait to hear your interview now, Burmeister.
Right, I'm back now. I've got my headset back. Sorry about that.
I was so confused because it didn't say that Owen Mansell joined the party. I was like, what the hell's going on? How the hell did you sneak in here? Because it's a private party. But yeah, well done, Oliver, today, mate. I'm happy to see you up there, mate. And I know you had your controversies in Div 1 too, but you can put that behind you now and focus on Div 2, okay? So keep pushing, keep trying, and I know you will get there soon. I told you Div 1, but I know it's a step down from Div 1, but these guys are mighty quick. They've had a lot of experience and hours on the game, plus the previous league races over the years. You're trying to get there, get better as well. So just keep it up, mate. Keep your head up and don't give up, okay?
Right, thanks for the boost of confidence. I can't wait to hear what Burmeister has to say now. I'm looking forward to it.
So we move on to the man in P2, and it's Burmeister. P8, mate. Your comeback was fantastic for the race as well, from starting down in P8, and yeah, you've driven beautifully as well to try and catch up, because the gap on the DRS of the top two was broken, but you brought the gap down as well. So P2 is what you could do today, because I know you did the hard to medium strategy, so it's going to be a bit difficult to try and catch the hard runner, because the hards are better tied towards the end as well. So yeah, you did the best you could today, and Williams P2 and P3, that's the max you could have got today. Goed gedaan, vandaag. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Dankjewel. Well, it was really a pleasure, and like Oliver said before, we had a little chat. He asked what can I do, and I said, like, just make it difficult to enemies and Mansell the most you can. And yeah, this man is a legend. He did everything right. He built gaps for me so that I could push him free air to do these things in the first stint, to get the clean air and go back. And then after 8 or 10 laps on the hards, I was feeling okay. Now this is my time, because when the tires are a bit worn, I'm at the best, and I was feeling like in the middle section with the S's, and after the S's I was gaining so much time that, yeah, I was back in a couple of laps. And then maybe in the end, I think the safety car came a bit too early for us hard runners, and yeah, in the end, I don't know, the guy in P1, congratulations anyway, but in the end he had a bit of tire advantage. But maybe if I had partied up, which I will do with Oliver the legend next week, then we can set up our own DRS train to catch these type of guys.
Did you think when you overtook Calvin to go up into P2, there was a chance on those mini compound tires try and close in, and once you got that DRS range, try and stay there and overtake him later? Because the gap was going down in the first sector quite a lot by 5/10, but after that you just couldn't get a gap down because the hards ultimately were just better.
Yeah, the hards were a lot better in the sector 3, I think. The last 5 or 6 laps, then my tires were done there, and I was losing all I could gain in the first sector, and yeah, then it was pretty much done. So I tried to get a clean gap and keep Oliver in my DRS to secure the double podium. Yeah, like I said, it was just a bit too early, but I think without safety cars, because I was catching so quickly in the first hard stint, we could maybe get 1-2 or with some communication. Also, yeah, set up a DRS train to catch him, but yeah. I'm happy with P2 and all the other guys being behind us, and Oliver is a legend.
Success. And you finished ahead of Mansell today. The gap is between you and him is about 15 points, but now reduced. Do you think in the next 7 races now you can really take the challenge on to Adams and Mansell, the top 2 of the championship? Because I know you suffer a bit with qualifying, but you do make it up in the race as well, which is very important for you as well, because a race is more important than qualifying with a 26-lap race over 1 lap pace. And do you think you can really take the challenge now towards Mansell and Adams?
Yeah, I think I also missed like 4 races in the beginning, because I was a reserve in the summer, so I have less races, I guess, than them. And yeah, maybe I have to miss some more, but I would keep you guys curious and not tell anything more about that.
Well, goed gedaan vandaag.
Dankjewel.
Geen probleem. Hoe gaat het in, I think it's Brazil next.
No, I think there's one before Mexico, I guess.
Mexico. Hoe gaat het, Mexico?
Yeah, I think it's Mexico think it's Mexico next week. So yeah.
I didn't try Mexico, but I like the track. I like all old-fashioned tracks. So I think we can do quite similar there together with Oliver.
Totally agree, mate. If it comes to helping out the championship, like, I'll try to do the exact same like I did tonight.
Yeah, you're great, mate. Thank you very much for that. And next week we'll party up and then destroy all the rest, mate.
Let's go for it. I can't wait.
Oliver, I've got another question for you, but first, Simo, you got any questions for Burmeister?
No, all it is obviously well done with the podium. How do you feel about going into Mexico next week?
Are you asking it to me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, Burmeister, yeah.
Yeah, I always feel confident, mate. Let's do some time trial over the weekend, and then I'll get some pace. I'll find some pace. But like Oliver said, I totally agree with him that this is a shit game, and it has way too much grip. Oliver said 23 was better. 23 was way better, but if you look back at 20 or 18, I think that was way better. That's just a small step of throttle too much, and the car is round. I like that. I like more tricky circumstances.
Yeah.
It has to be tricky to drive a car like with 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, no, it has. So yeah, hopefully you can go one better on and go top step of the podium, go 1-2 with your teammate Oliver.
Right, 1-2 next week, Burmeister. They're putting the pressure on us now.
We don't feel pressure, mate. We don't feel pressure.
No.
Team Williams all the way then.
It is.
Burmeister, goed gedaan vandaag. Ik spreek je later. Tot ziens. Goedenavond. Dankjewel.
Dankjewel. Thank you guys for commentating and putting all the effort in. Thank you and have a great evening.
Geen probleem.
Yeah, shout out, Simo. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Have a good night, guys.
Do what you take. Right, so thank you, Burmeister. I know Dutch as well, mate, so I can speak Dutch to you. But Oliver, I've got this question for you now. So you've been thrown into Div 2 in the Williams. You've got 7 races left. So in your head, what are you thinking now? Because you want to prove as yourself as a driver, but you find yourself in this tricky situation where you got to prioritize Burmeister. So if you get a chance of winning, and let's say Burmeister's behind you, or podium like today, or any situation where Burmeister could potentially get ahead of his championship rivals Mansell and Adams in that race, you being brought into this because you want to improve and have better pace, are you going to constantly do that, or do you think there could be a moment where, F it, I'm going to go for the race win or get a podium if I'm P3 with Burmeister P4? Are you now fully focused onto the team now, because like you brought to a situation where you got to like play the team game already in your first race?
Yeah, I mean, if it comes to me in first at Burmeister in P2, if it comes to the worst, yes, I will swap the positions with Burmeister and then hold up the championship contenders behind. But yes.
What a legend, eh? What a legend.
But yeah, I will prioritize team first rather than trying to, use my ego and trying to go for race victory, because that's not really me, to be honest. No, I'll probably mostly prioritizing the team first.
Well, thank you very much, Oliver.
I have one more question for you, Indigo.
Oh, okay. I'm being interviewed today.
Who was the drivers of the day?
Oh, Burmeister.
It's me.
Burmeister, don't do this to me, mate, because I could say any of you. I could say you, I could say Top G, well, because he's on the right strategy at the right time with bad qualifying. You or Oliver. I don't know, mate. I really don't know. I hate being to the side of the driver of the day, because, like, if I say this driver, they'll be like, what about me? I did this. I went from this to this. I hate it.
Yeah.
It puts a lot of pressure on me.
I think it should be me for my defending.
It's on your job list,
me
mate.
for commentating on it.
I'm a commentator, Burmeister, not a decider, or not a chooser, sorry.
Okay, you're the decider, you're the replacer from Black Ops 6.
What? What? Did you say Black Ops 6?
Yeah, you're the replacer.
I don't even know what that means. Black Ops 6, that's very random.
Have you not seen the bloody trailer for it?
No, mate, I've gone off COD these days.
Oh, yeah, Perfect.
Anyways, my final words. This was a fantastic race. I thoroughly enjoyed it with all the plenty of battles going on. USA Texas never fails to disappoint at all. It always provides some good racing action. And this is mine and Simo's, Libby, sorry. This is mine and Libby's first time ever commentate together. And I think we've both done a fantastic job as well, trying to feed off each other. There we go. Get the words out, Jamie. You can do it. You're a commentator. You should do. But yeah, just the energy we have, the harmony we work together as well, the battles we've seen so far, and we managed to work together as well. I've really enjoyed commentating with you for the first time, Simo. Hopefully more to come. You could be my full co-commentator because I haven't got one because Oliver's gone now. So you could be the one to replace Oliver in commentary, and I'd love to have you alongside me because I've thoroughly enjoyed it today, Ellie. No, Libby.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd love to commentate on the Div 2 with you again someday. So hopefully same time next week.
Yeah, sure. You can be here for the rest of the season if you want. There's 7 races left to go. I'd love to have a long time because, yeah, it helps me a lot, supports me too. But yeah, I really have enjoyed this race. So yeah, final words, Simo. Thank you for joining me as well. You've been absolutely fantastic on commentary today. All your knowledge, your insights, and information on the battles on the track, your entertainment that's brought us to the stream as well. So yeah, you did a fantastic job today, Simo. I think your confidence is back after spending a few years absent from commentating, and you can finally settle to a rhythm now, can you?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think I'm back for commentating for good, and this race was a nice one to start off with. So, yeah, I think I'm back.
Yep, thank you for being alongside me, and we ride off USA in Texas for Div 2. Join us back, me and Owen Mansell, for Division 1 tomorrow at 7:30 UK time, and also the Mexican Grand Prix this weekend, which is another sprint race too. So let's join us back in the Mexican Grand Prix. Not join me back because I'm not there, obviously I'm not an F1 commentator, but join me back tomorrow at 7:30 for Division 1 for the USA Grand Prix. We saw an incredible battle, as I commentated last week, for first place. Seen plenty of moments going on 3 abreast into turn 1 the last few laps, and it was Nico who won his first race of the season, denying Hurricane his 9th win of the season, and we'll see then what will happen in Div 1. I am looking forward to it. Laser, shout out to you for all your hard work and efforts. Spent a lot of time on time trial and elsewhere to find all these drivers, bring in a whole lot of drivers, bring in full-time drivers as well as more reserves, and bring this league back to life. Shout out to Laser for all his hard work, because without him it wouldn't be like this at all. So yeah, thank you so much, Laser, for taking up a lot of time to find these talented drivers and bring the old ones back in, like myself bringing me back in after a 4-year absence here in SFR. So thank you very much. We'll join you all back tomorrow, and once again, Libby, thank you so much, mate. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you very much.
See you all later. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. And join me and I'm back tomorrow. And also, final words from me. Ever since I came back to SFR, I felt so much happier as well. I've really enjoyed commentating for Div 2, Div 3 and Div 1, sometimes Div 3, but there's never a moment where it gets to Tuesday or Wednesday thinking, oh my goodness me, I got to commentate for Div 1, I can't be arsed. No, I literally enjoy every race. I sit in the party and wait. I just cannot wait for Tuesdays and Wednesdays every single week. This league is back on top. I know it's been a difficulty spot in the last few years, but this league is on a rise so far, and I hope we can keep going too. So yeah, thank you to all the organisers, the admins, the stewards, and me and the commentators for bringing this league back to where it should be, the top of its game. And we've got a really good community here. Everybody in Div 2, Div 1 and Div 3 is fantastic so far. It's one of the best leagues. I'm so glad I made a return after leaving due to a personal reason, but that's no longer a concern for me. Thank you, Laser, for bringing me back, and my soliloquy is over now. So we'll see you all later. Have a good night. Goodbye.